the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. This game is going to be on the 2nd, not on New Year's Day this year. That's a little weird, isn't it?
Well, the NFL pushes everything off on New Year's Day. I think that's the whole thing.
That's true.
It's a Sunday. The NFL's like, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, 5 p.m. kickoff. The Penn State Nittany Lions versus the Utah Utes. At time of record, Utah is a 2.5-point favorite. Over under is set at 52 points. Fresh, I think this game right here is the most even matchup of all of bowl season. I know Utah is a 2.5-point favorite in this game. I would put this as a pick'em game. I really would. And maybe you want to go geographical, and Utah is just closer to California. Utah's played in this game twice, or the second time in a row they played in this game. They know the whole procedure. They know how to go through the parade. They know how to go, what it means to go in there. But this is on both of our bucket lists. Anyone who ever, if you know someone at the Rose Bowl committee, if you guys can get Fresh and I to sponsor a podcast out there, we will do a live record from the Rose Bowl. I don't care who's playing in this game. This is one that me and you someday, somehow, we have to do an episode from Pasadena. Just to see the sun go down over the mountains at night out there. It's one of the most amazing sights. I love the Rose Bowl. It's the last game of Sean Clifford's doctoral campaign over there in Penn State. Cameron Rising is playing in this game. Unfortunately, he's going to be without Dalton Kincaid, my favorite tight end from this season there. And I know one that you really high on as well. It's interesting because which team is going to see the catapult? This game could be a catapult game going into next year. Penn State, their only 2 losses on the season. Michigan and Ohio State, both teams in the playoffs this year. Now, they didn't play a whole lot else in their schedule. They played a very not great Auburn team. Luckily, you could say, okay, they went into Auburn and won, but Auburn wasn't very good this year. Utah got boat raced the very first week of the season. Well, not even boat race. They played a tough game against Florida in the swamp in early September, which is a brutal place to play in the swamp. Florida's got to go out to Utah next year, which is going to
good luck.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one right there. I don't know, man. I'm so intrigued of this game. Defensively, they're spot on. They're Penn State's allowing 18 points a game. Utah's allowing 20. Penn State's averaging 36 points a game. Utah 40. These two are even teams. I got a little bit more, but I'll flip it over to you and let you roll with it for a little bit.
Well, first off, the whole expanding the playoff out and having to get the Rose Bowl committee to buy into the new bylaws and changes for that. What I think they need to do is just make the national championship game every year the Rose Bowl. Obviously, it won't be New Year's Day. You push it back maybe a week or two, but have the road to Pasadena be the goal for everybody every single year. That they get their one game, it's the Rose Bowl. You're fine, but that setting on the West Coast, the weather's usually pretty good. They can hold over 100,000 at stadium. It's a college football mecca. It would make so much sense because look, we got a national championship game this year in SoFi Stadium, which that's an NFL stadium. Last year was in Indianapolis, which Indiana and Purdue, that's a basketball state. Like, why are we playing a game there? A couple of years ago, they had one in Levi Stadium up in San Francisco. Those aren't college football venues. The Rose Bowl is college football. This should be the home of the national championship game every year, and that should be the road. Everyone should have that direction to get there. FCS has the road to Frisco to play get their bowl game there every year. The Rose Bowl should be the national title game every single season going forward. All right, ran it over. Back to this game. When you look at it, Utah, Phillips, Kincaid, both out. Your top corner, your top offensive threat on Penn State side. Porter Jr., not playing. Washington, not playing. Leading receiver, number 1 corner, both out. So these kind of the similarities of the top defender from perimeter perspective and their top offensive threat not playing in this ball game. It was pretty good that you brought up that Utah was here last year. They know the whole routine. They're understanding the pomp and circumstance of everything, whether it's going to Lawry's and getting the prime rib steak dinner and eating the whole thing, and all the awe of being out in Disneyland and that whole sort of thing. That's a big deal to make a transition out there. The fans know what to do as well. They understand it. And knowing that when you were there against Ohio State, you competed. You were on the same level, and you had a chance to win the football game. You can compete with Penn State this year. You've done it. You beat USC. They were the darlings of the college football there for the month of November. You handle it. You can compete on any field. Having a chance to also avenge last year is a big motivation for Utah, because I think those guys who came back, they felt like they probably could have won that ball game. They probably left a little bit on that field. Now they were given a redemption story, and this is their opportunity. I think that gives them a little extra kick, because sometimes you get into bowl games like, oh, we were there last year. It's the same whole routine. This isn't the same routine. This is winning a Rose Bowl. That's a big deal. I think having that motivation, understanding the expectations, is going to help them on January 2nd. On the flip side, Penn State, this is your second year 6 appearance. The first one, they played in the Cotton Bowl. They beat Memphis. They whooped the trash out of them in 2019. But this is a lot bigger deal than that. This is James Franklin, maybe his legacy, because your two biggest opponents are both in the playoff this year in Michigan and Ohio State. As a Penn State guy and as a Penn State coach, you're being viewed on how you compare to them. And if you lose to Utah, and they're both playing for potentially a national championship if they meet each other, you're now falling farther behind. You just become another team in the league. You have to win this bowl game to build your own brand of like, hey, we are a championship quality football team for the future. We are doing something here in Happy Valley. Or you're just a football coach and you're just going to win 9-10 games, but the 2 games you're going to lose every year are going to be to Michigan and Ohio State. That right there is just going to say you're not the guy to do it. And eventually you're going to be canned. We talked about it earlier. You're fired for the reason you're hired. This is a chance to put yourself in the right direction. Get that legit big bowl win. This isn't winning the Outback Bowl. This isn't winning the Citrus Bowl. This isn't winning whatever. This is winning the Rose Bowl. And that, I don't care who you are, in Big Ten, especially the Big Ten lore, and especially older fan base, winning the Rose Bowl is the most important goal at the beginning of the year. You can go back before the playoff, every single stadium, every single locker room, it's the road to Pasadena. Win the Rose Bowl is your focus, number one overall. It has been like that for over 100 years. You win the Rose Bowl, that is an accomplishment. And if you want to be Penn State, you want yourself on the map and finish in a potentially a top 5 finish, this is how you do it. You beat a Pac-12 champion and you get it done. Sean Clifford, you've had a bumpy career. You've been up and down. People have doubted you. This is your one chance to finish on a high note and supplant yourself as actually, I am a winning quarterback at Penn State. I am a Penn State legend. If you lose it, you're just another Christian Hackenberg. You're a Trace McSorley. You're a whoever. If you win it, you're a big deal. So wear that badge of honor. Take this very seriously. This is not just like, oh, we're not playing for a playoff where this game doesn't matter. This game should mean almost just as important as playing for a national championship, because it could put you individually and your program even at a higher level. In the end, though, I think the Utes' experience and Cam Rising, I think, being the better quarterback, they find a way to beat Penn State. Utah gets it done, caps another magical season, and Kyle Whittingham tells me that I'm an idiot once again and finds a way to really just keep building off a great season after great season.
So, Fresh, here's my only thing with this game here. Penn State came into this year, and one of the things we said at the beginning of the year about Penn State is that a quiet team in Happy Valley is a scary team in Happy Valley. And I think that they proved that. I think that they proved that this season. You're right. They need to figure out a way to get over the hump when it comes to playing Michigan and playing Ohio State. But going into next season, Drew Allar, hopefully I'm saying that right, freshman quarterback from Medina, Ohio. He's going to be the starting quarterback starting next year. Has played very good in some mop-up role for Sean Clifford. Nicholas Singleton may be the best running back in at least in the Big Ten next year. Will have an argument about being one of the better running backs in the country. His running mate, Katron Allen, also a freshman. He's going to have an argument for being that 1-2 punch in Happy Valley next year is scary. This game could be the jumping off point. Most importantly for James Franklin coming out of this game, the country needs to be talking about Penn State. Now, Utah, they can win this game and everyone still would talk about Penn State. What we need to see out of them, if this is another 45-42 classic where it's Utah wins on a late second field goal, where we're talking about it being one of the best Rose Bowl games of all time, I think that would be like the best worst case scenario for Penn State. Utah really wants to be in the conversation here. Yeah, we got a raw deal at Florida. We didn't have our head on straight in the games that they lost this year. I really think that this makes for an interesting conversation because with everything that's going to change within the next 2 years, Utah has USC's number. That's concerning for USC because Utah could be putting themselves. So there's a lot at stake in this Rose Bowl game. It worries me that Kincaid's out. Now, Kincaid didn't play a bunch in that Pac-12 title game. The other tight end, Thomas Yasman, had a really good game in that one. And I don't know, like, we'll see. I really hope Money Parks, which is not the nickname of our friend, but of an actual wide receiver. Yes, his name is Money Parks. I love that name. Like, that's one of the best names in college football right now. Him and Kool-Aid for Alabama. But other than those two, like, Money Parks needs to be money on this game. I think this is an even matchup. I think it's an intriguing matchup. I think both teams have a lot to play for in this game. Sign me up. The hangover from New Year's Eve. Well, you might be hungover. I'm domesticated still, so I won't unfortunately be able to do those things anymore. But I think that this is going to be a very, very fun game to watch on the second. I can't wait. Like, I really can't wait. And maybe this is a game where if you have an opportunity, make sure that this is must-watch TV to me. If you're going to watch if you're not going to watch the playoff, if you're not going to watch anything else, if you are a casual college football fan and you're saying, well, hey, guys, what's the one football game to watch this bowl season? I would say watch the Rose Bowl. I think you're going to see a great game. I think you're going to see a highly competitive game. Both of these teams are going to really want this. You know what? Give me Penn State. Give me Penn State, even though I think I probably am wrong on this. I think probably Utah. I should pick Utah. I just want to see the freshmen. I want to see the freshmen come in and ball out and look really good. But I think in my head Utah will win this game. But you know what? I'm going to have some fun with it. I'm going to pick Penn State.
You know what? First off, just Money Park should be playing in the And One tour or playing Rucker Park. That just sounds like a dude who's just gonna you steps on the court and just gonna make you look like a fool.
We need to start referring to our friend as Money Parks because
Hey, if he wins in Vegas, that's a good name for him.
that's very true. Very true.